the Digital Marketing Punkcast.
Hello everybody and welcome to the active resistance against bad digital marketing. This sold by a seedy underworld of digital agencies to small business owners across the world. Every episode I try to help you clear up the mystery surrounding this digital voodoo that we call digital marketing, as we strip away the geek speak and the sales bullshit you may normally hear to give you clear, accessible answers which allow you to empower yourself with your own DIY digital marketing. This is the Digital Marketing Punkcast, and I am Digital Marketing Punk. This is episode number 11, and today we are getting angry about digital marketing with Sarah Jo Crawford. And this episode was recorded in November of 2018. Hello again, everybody. You know what? When I started this show, I thought, you know what? I'm going to do it weekly. And make sure I get an episode out every week, because that's what a good digital marketer does. They get an episode out every single week, and it's consistent. And then you can, you build up an audience and you build up the brand. And you know what? I'm just not doing it. I'm basically making an episode every 2 weeks at the moment. That's for a number of reasons. You know what? Organising guests and organising the recordings and getting the editing done just takes a long time. So I've decided I'm going to do away with doing this every week. This is now going to be an every 2 week episode, which makes it a little bit more manageable, and is also lying as well, because I think the last time I did an episode was 3 weeks ago with the fantastic Rick Rodriguez about SEO, and I got loads of really good feedback about that episode, so thank you very, very much. Rick himself was absolutely fantastic. He was brilliant. He knows so much about the SEO world. It's a little bit insane. I am very much envious of him, and I think a lot of people picked up on the fact that I have a little mild man crush with Rick. But he is fantastic at what he does, and he just lives and breathes the whole thing, and calm myself down a little bit. Okay, this episode we're taking a little bit of a slightly different tack. Do you know what? I'm going to be honest with you. This episode is a bit mad, a bit wild, and a bit crazy. I have Sarah Jo Crawford on the show this week. She's a marketer, she's a writer, she's a speaker herself, and she works a lot with other speakers, basically to help them create content, come up with ideas, and get bookings. And I came across Sarah, I don't know, I think someone shared a post, a video of hers which she does, because she does a lot of video marketing, and this whole episode today is going to be about video marketing pretty much. At least that's where the hints and tips are going to come from. So I saw a video that she'd posted. Now let's be honest, it was on LinkedIn, and there's a lot of videos on LinkedIn. As soon as LinkedIn allowed you to start posting videos, then everyone started getting on the bandwagon, and there's nothing wrong with that, okay? There's nothing wrong with that. You should do it, and I do it as well. I don't do it nearly enough as I probably should do, but that's great. And you see a lot of rubbish videos, okay? People just talking about their day. I went out today and I saw a client and it was a really good meeting, but I can't tell you about it. But I'm just on my way back now and I think we're going to close the deal. Just rubbish. I don't care. No one cares. And the only reason you're getting interactions from those posts that you post on LinkedIn, by the way, is because you're getting interactions from the people that are forced to do it. Okay? These are the people that just either are your family, your wife, the people that work under you. They're the only people that are interacting with you, or they want something from you. So it's really annoying me, this lack of quality. And when I saw Sarah's video, I thought, okay, this is different. This is a little bit unique. Okay, she's an American. I can get over that. But it's a little bit different. She was just very open and honest about, what she is trying to do and what she's trying to achieve. And I kind of can relate to that. It was very punk, and that's what made it awesome. So then suddenly, out the blue, one day she dropped me a message and say, hey, do you want to chat? And of course I want to chat. I'm open to anybody who wants to have a conversation with me. So we had a chat and it went really well. and she's really fantastic. And we just talked about everything. And basically, this conversation went from, yes, we're going to be very, professional and we're going to be very organized, to we're just going to have a bitch about the things that we hate about in the digital marketing space at the moment. And I basically turned around and said, hey, look, this is wasted just having a conversation about this. Why don't you come on the podcast and talk about this stuff? Because I think people will relate to it. People will find it entertaining. And that is exactly what we did. And thank you so much for Sarah for coming on to the show and taking the time out to do it. There's a massive time difference. I recorded it after work one day at about 7-8 p.m. She was just getting up in the morning to start her work day, so it was a little bit weird, but it was a really great conversation, because this is the brutally honest truth about how this world goes down. Okay, it's not all Gary Vaynerchuk, and it's not all these new fangled digital marketing expert gurus that you see going around in their sunglasses in sunny streets of California with lovely sort of GoPro action movie video cuts. That's not how it works. So we were just trying to be genuine about the whole situation. And you know what? She came up with some really good ideas and tips about, if you're going to do some video marketing, should I say, and you want to post videos on LinkedIn and Facebook and stuff like that, there's a certain thing you need to do. Otherwise, you're going to roll down that passage of becoming a little bit fake. If you're going to do it, you have to be real about it. You have to be honest. You have to show who you are yourself and be personable, which is what I try and do, and what obviously Sarah tries to do, but not everyone's doing that. They're being very fake about it. So that's what we had a conversation about. So I call this episode Being Angry About Digital Marketing, because essentially that's what it is. We just started a recording and got very, very angry about it. So Sarah Jo Crawford joins me on the show today. We're talking about video marketing. I hope you enjoy it. Okay, joining me today, a very special guest that we have from across the pond. Actually, not my first guest across the pond, is it? This is my second guest from across the pond. That's weird. But my guest from across the pond, Sarah Jo Crawford. Hello.
Hi, how's it going?
Very, very well. Thank you so much for appearing on this poxy little British digital marketing punkcast.
You are extra British. I'm into it.
I'm extra British. I try. We take classes. Well, we literally do take English classes, I suppose. So yeah.
Hey, so do we.
Yeah, exactly. But you stole that from us, and you took that, which you borrowed it. Let's be honest, and then butchered it in your own way.
I think you steal a lot of things, though, if we're being honest.
Yeah. True, but you had to. Everything you steal, you butcher. Chips is different for you than it is for me. What's up with that?
What are chips for you?
Chips are like fries for you, but they're crisps for you. No, that doesn't make sense. But they're crisps for you guys.
Okay.
See, it just doesn't make sense. Everyone gets confused. Confused. Anyway, how are you doing this? How are you doing this fine week?
I am good. Just knocking some stuff out. I'm having one of those cool weeks where I'm inspired by my work, and that doesn't happen every week, so it's kind of fun.
Not in this line of work. Certainly, it's not something that happens. We were just saying before that you're doing some really cool work at the moment, which is different, because when it's a cool product that you're trying to sell, it makes it super, super easy.
Especially when it's a pretty product. And I mean, there's all kinds of fun stuff to sell, but I'm getting to sell a wedding barn, which is totally outside of my typical marketing expertise. But it's so much fun because you post a pretty picture and people lose their damn minds. It's amazing. Like, I don't have to do anything. It's just, here's a bride, and everyone's like, "Oh my God, we bow down to you."
I'm very impressed. You didn't swear then. I thought you were going to swear then. You can do that on this show. It's perfectly acceptable.
Is damn a swear word?
It's on the cusp, but yeah, you can use it as a swear word. That's absolutely fine.
I think it counts as a swear word, because if I would have said it as a kid, I would have gotten in trouble. So I'll say yes.
Yes. There's also darn. You can use darn if you wish.
Darn.
In fact, I was watching an episode of a show over here called QI, which is a really weird show, which I'm going to explain now, and you're going to think, what a crazy show that is. But it's a game show, like a proper panel show with guests and everything. And all it is they ask questions about quite interesting facts. Just weird stuff that you'd never heard of. And there was a question up there, the one I was watching, about the fact that darn is a word in America only said in certain places. And they brought up a heat map of the United States and where darn was actually sort of said. I think they use Twitter, actually. In fact, they use Twitter to define where these words are used. So darn's like very Texan, maybe. I don't know. I can't remember if it was darn.
Yeah, no, darn will be from the South. We also have issues with what we call soda or pop.
Yes.
So if you do a heat map of that, it's also very fun. Where I'm from, actually, is this random little circle that calls it pop in Missouri. And then I moved 2 hours away, and they were like, "You call it pop? It's soda." And so now I call it soda, and in the South, they just call it Coke.
Yes.
And wherever I go, I'm like, yeah. So I hear my family saying pop, and I'm like, "You sound like a hick." So I have to hold it back. But yeah, we have lots of – but soda pop's my favorite. Like, sounds the most ridiculous to me. What do you guys call it?
We call it pop, I suppose. We call it what it is. So, it's a fizzy drink also, I suppose you'd call it. But hang on, this has always confused me, and this is a question. Sorry, this is not meant to be a podcast all about the differences between British and American people, but what the hell? It's my podcast. But what's so soda is not, it's a beverage, obviously. So Coke would be a soda, yes?
Yes.
Lemonade would be a soda.
No, it's not.
Oh, well, then you've lost me already.
Yeah, soda is carbonated.
Okay.
And so and Coke is a brand of soda.
Right.
Like Coca-Cola. But in the South, the word Coke can mean a can of Coke, and it could also just mean a carbonated beverage.
See, you come over, you complicate everything.
Flats instead of apartments. That's weird.
Well, that's kind of coming over here as well, because we do call it a flat, and we call it an apartment as well. I had a horrible flat in near the south of England once. I wouldn't call that an apartment, because an apartment for us is really like swanky and posh, and it's nice, and my place down south was not. I could smell the heroin being cooked from downstairs.
Does heroin have a smell?
If not, then I was smelling something completely different. I don't really want to know what that was.
I didn't know. I don't know my drugs very well. Not much of a party.
That's good. We've cleared that off the table.
Before we get on to real things, do you guys call it a parcel or a package? Like if you're getting something in the mail?
Oh, we would call it a parcel.
Okay, I find that really strange.
Yeah. I mean, it'd be a package. A package is something that something comes in. So no, that's a packet. I'm getting confused with my own language. Why are you making me doubt my own language? But yeah, we'd call it a parcel if you get something through the door.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay,
yeah.
That's the last. Oh, and then lately I've been talking to so many British people and listening to books by narrators who are British, and they don't call it a pill, they call it a tablet. And so I've started calling it a tablet, and my husband looks at me like I'm crazy.
Because he presumably thinks that you're about to swallow some kind of really small computer? Exactly.
He's like, where'd you get an iPad? That's what happened.
That didn't come from my pay packet. Oh dear. Anyway, let's
about marketing.
Let's talk about marketing, shall we? I knew there was a reason we had this show. So you do. I mean, the reason that we sort of, found each other in a weird kind of way. Obviously, we connected on LinkedIn, but where it was your video marketing. It was your videos that you did on LinkedIn. Was really, really cool. And so tell us a little bit about that. What sort of made you start just doing videos?
Sure. So the actual business that I do is working with public speakers to increase their visibility online, to lead to better paying and more speaking gigs. And I was growing this business, and I'd kind of reached my cap as far as referrals. And I was like, I want to reach more people. I was finding people I was reaching, really liked what I had to offer. So I was like, I need to get out there. Honestly, I was just trying stuff. I had a client who didn't believe me that videos were working on LinkedIn, especially. So I wanted to prove the point. So I made a video like just quickly and posted it and went on with my day. And it hit like 3,000 views, which for somebody who only had 800 connections, that was kind of cool. So I kept doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been doing it. I'll be going on a year here in a little while. And it's been so awesome. It's resulted in business, like new business, but also just like this connections right now, like you and I talking. People can get to know me. It's so much easier to introduce myself. It's just been the coolest thing. And because of that, I'm actually now speaking on video marketing. So I've somehow found myself in the position of an expert, which I find very funny, but it's happening and people seem to like them and, give me a microphone and I'm ready to party. So it's working out really well.
I thought you were going to say, give me a microphone and I'll bust out a rap. Lay down a beat. That's really cool, and it is really cool. The other thing I really like about what you've been doing is, and you see it on your website, which we'll talk about in a sec, is you talk about how you don't really make connections. What you really want to do is sort of make friends, essentially, which is really what everyone should be doing, and that's building actual proper relationships, right?
Absolutely. And people still try to like systematize the making of friends, which is unfortunate because realistically networking should be the making of friends. But you know what? Here's the deal. We're already going to get controversial. I know. Here's the deal.
Wrap it out. Come on.
I think good, true networking and this weird bullshit networking, the biggest difference is the people you say no to. So if you're just bullshit networking, you're saying hi to everybody, you're making friends with everyone, you like everyone, you're talking to everyone, you kiss everyone's ass. That's not true networking. True networking, building friendships, is not necessarily people you say, yes, we're friends to. It's people you say, no, I don't want to be your friend to. Yeah. I'm not saying I actually say that, but it means that like I'm not friends with everybody I meet. Some people I meet, we don't jazz, and that's fine. That is how I see networking in the 21st century has kind of evolved, is this idea of like, are you building a network or are you just running around kissing everyone's ass?
Yeah, exactly. And I suppose part of that is what I'm doing as well. I don't tend to, although I want people to like me, everyone does. Like, this is not just me going, everybody love me. I don't do that for this reason. At the end of the day, I want people to like me and like what I do and like what I say. But at the end of the day, when you go around saying what you're doing in digital marketing is absolute crap, you don't make a lot of friends. You don't make
you know what though? You kind of do. You make a lot of the right friends.
Yes, exactly.
And that's what's fun. It's scary at first. It really is, to be like, I'm just going to let all my sass out. And, like as a girl, I don't want to be a bitch. And as a dude, you don't want to be, what is it, an asshole?
It'd be an asshole. It'd be a dick.
Dick. There it is. Yeah. I don't want to be a bitch. I don't want to be a dick. We both got our gendered words of people don't like us. On LinkedIn, people refer to me as some girl when they're trying to be derogatory, but like they're on LinkedIn, so they're trying to keep it professional. Like, I don't need some girl telling me what to do. And I'm like, okay, clearly you're trying to censor yourself. You still sound like a jerk.
Well, do you prefer some girl or do you prefer guru?
Oh my God. I was wondering when you were going to bring this up. Okay. So for all the listeners out there, here's I'm actually gonna mic drop here in a second. No, here's the joke, and I gave this to you, and everyone can use it.
Yes.
The reason we use the term guru is because charlatan is too hard to spell. That is it. That is the truth of the word guru. It bugs me nuts. It's just, and it's used so often in regards to social media. The most I found that when I had somebody who would like send email introductions about me, and in my past I was more niched in social media, she would call me a social media guru. She'd be like, this is my social media guru. And I would immediately follow up to this person. I wouldn't include the original person. I'd follow up and be like, hey, not really a guru. Like, I just want to make this clear because gurus are not, if you're a guru, you don't know anything. I don't know. That's probably really too far. But seriously, gurus, I just hate it.
It is a really, I find it a derogatory term now. And, no one, no one really, I mean, some people do say, oh, we've got, it's usually clients. Oh, we've got a digital marketing guru, we've got a social media guru, we've got a video marketing guru. Or people say, people will ask a question on LinkedIn. I had this the other day. Someone will ask a question on LinkedIn and saying it'll be interesting to see what the SEO gurus think of this. And I think everyone should have left the room at that point if that had been an actual social event. Because
I found that the more pretentious someone's title is, or the more ridiculous, the more they're compensating for.
Yeah.
So like social media rock star. Well, you're compensating because I had this boss who he was the founder of a multi-million-dollar online lender. Okay. Big freaking deal of a human being. But when people would ask him when we were at conferences and stuff, oh, what do you do? He would just say, oh, I just work at an online loan company.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm sitting there like, he could say founder, CEO, like president, like he could have thrown out all kinds of stuff. And I was like, that's the kind of person I want to be. Like, I don't want to be like the director of social media engagement of, I don't know. I had some of these bullshit titles for a while and I hated them. I was the director of emerging social media. Do you know what that meant? It meant I hung out on Twitter.
But you're absolutely right, though. If you think about it, right? I used to do the same sort of thing. I could really sell myself, but it's not myself. I could really sell my soul and say that I am an expert guru in digital marketing and social media. I'm not. I mean, I'm not by any stretch of the imagination. But I loved how you used the term president there, because you could turn around and say, I'm going to really shorten my job title down. So I'm not the president of, the Jeffries conglomerate. I'm just gonna, if people ask, I'm just gonna say that I am the president. See what the reaction is that I'm going to get. I used to do that when I first started in digital marketing, and people would ask what I do, and it was during a period where no one would really know what digital marketing was or what SEO was, and having to explain it, is a real buzzkill if you're in some kind of swanky bar. Well, what I do is I make sure that all my websites are really high up in Google, and they get really doesn't work. So I would refashion and reformat the word of own. You know how own can mean actually, do something really good, be really good at something. And so I would just say that I own Google and just see how that would go down. And people would just look at me and go, no, you don't. I'm pretty sure that's not you.
I have varying degrees of explanation I offer up. So at first if it's my grandparents, what do you do? Oh, I work on the internet. Other people that I'm really trying to not impress, or maybe I don't want additional questions, I just say, oh, I do some online work from home. Like I just kind of downplay it. If I'm trying to sound a little bit more impressive, I'm like, oh, I run a small business with my husband. But I don't, if I can avoid getting into it with people that don't necessarily need to know the details, yes. I just try to keep it downplayed. Because here's actually another thing. People find it really novel. Like, if you don't work from home and you find out somebody does work from home, you have all these questions.
Yes.
And it's always really awkward because then they just start hitting you with so many questions. So I just try to it's not that interesting. Like, I don't know how to tell you how not interesting this is. Yes, I wear pajamas. Yes, I make a lot of coffee. It's always an awkward thing. What do you do? I do the internet.
Yeah.
I do the internet all day long. I do it very hard. And for a very long time.
Yeah, and people give you very, very funny looks if you say that too much. People will give you extremely, and they will sidle away from you.
I used to say I do everything but drugs and sex work. I've had to pull that one.
Covers everything you need to, doesn't it? Yeah.
It does. I'll do anything for money except drugs and sex work. It's fine.
There's probably some people that I could give that advice to, actually. Anyway, let's move back onto video marketing, okay? Because there is stuff that I wanted to talk about. I remember watching one of your videos, which was talking about how if you do video marketing, certainly on LinkedIn, on Facebook or whatever, which is obviously really, really good. And if people don't realize the power and potential of using video marketing, my answer, I'm sure your answer will be, is just go and do it. So one of your videos was about how people talk about themselves, okay? And I suppose that was a really popular video for you, but how they talk, and we don't care if they talk about themselves whatsoever. It's the most boring thing in the world. So what is your opinion about people talking? Why do people do this, Sarah? Why do people talk about themselves on LinkedIn and Facebook and everything like that?
Okay, so to be fair, it comes from a place of, a lot of times, I'll give people the benefit of the doubt. It comes from a place of trying to follow some best practices. So they look at Gary Vaynerchuk and they read these books that are all like, start with why. So all this stuff that's, tell your story. All of that is great information. And they look at Oprah and they look at these famous people and you're like, I know every detail of their lives. That must be what I should do, is tell everybody everything and talk about myself so people get to know me. However, it becomes incredibly self-absorbed and nobody gives a shit who you are until you've taught them something. And I just stand by that principle. And once again, while it's well-intentioned and there's assholes out there who just like talking about themselves and they're just obnoxious enough to get traction, like bully for them. But for the most part, you don't actually have to talk about yourself for people to get to know you. You can just talk about stuff that they care about. And in that, in the way you present it and the way you organize it and the jokes you use and the stories you tell within it, that's the way people get to know you without you ever actually saying anything about yourself.
Yeah. And it's all about, how you present that. You can't be all me. This is this is my biggest bugbear at the moment with LinkedIn is people that they obviously think, oh, I need to do a video. I see videos everywhere. I see people's faces always auto playing on my LinkedIn feed. It's amazing. I need to be, in on this because clearly it's a route. And, in some cases it is, but it has to be done right. Yep. And so what they do is they will stand there with their phone far too close to their face and they will say, oh, this is what I did today, and this is the client that I met today, and it went really, really well. And I can't tell you too much about it because it's a deal. I don't care then. I really don't care. You lost me at this is what I did today.
Yes. You don't even need to say hi. You definitely don't need to introduce yourself because on social media, it is very rare that your video will be anywhere else on the web without your face somewhere near it, unless you're a huge star. But for the most part, like people, you don't need to introduce yourself. People don't care what you ate for breakfast that morning. They don't care where you're sitting. Like you have like 2 seconds to get their attention. And unless you're Gary Vaynerchuk, even that, if you look at Gary Vaynerchuk, have you watched his videos? He does not. Like, unless he's doing a lifestyle video, he just starts yelling at the camera. It's brilliant. It's great.
Yeah. Yeah. It is great. And that is a way to do it. But you got to, there has to be some underlying value in there. And that's what people miss out on, is that underlying value of there's actually a reason here that you need to watch this. And if you don't give them that reason, if you don't give them that little bit of something that makes it interesting, they're not going to come back. And the next time your ugly mug appears on their newsfeed, they are going to scroll straight past it.
That is my biggest fear, actually, is like for my face to suddenly become associated with bullshittery. Because I've also found there's this trend of inspirational, motivational videos on LinkedIn. Like everybody who has ever just breathed air is suddenly the expert on enlightened living. And there's just people like, here's what you should do today, and you should tackle the day, and here's a mindfulness and practice gratitude. Like they're all just repeating the same bullshit that actually has very little substance to it. Yeah. Assuming that because they'll get like the like for 2 weeks that they'll continue and it'll drive business. It won't. No one's going to hire you to talk about gratitude, but you can be inspirational and motivational while still teaching people something. Yeah. Like I've taught people super technical stuff before, like here's how to technically post something on the internet. And even then they can leave inspired. Doesn't have to be you talking about the stuff that a life coach should be talking about in order for people to find you inspiring and motivating. That was a big deviation. But this was something I was ranting about yesterday. Like just last night, I was just like, what the hell? Why is everybody suddenly a life guru? Like, why are all of these 1 year out entrepreneurs giving all this advice on how to win the day. Like, I'm just so frustrated by it.
If you believe that you could start a religion based off the things that you say on LinkedIn, you should fuck off LinkedIn, is my advice to you. Because you're absolutely right, though. And do you know what? I haven't really put it through my head as much as I probably should have done. But you're absolutely right. Everyone thinks they're now life guru, and everyone wants to, balance your Zen and, stuff like that. And it's, although people will click, people will click like, and people will go, oh, that's amazing. They don't mean that. They don't mean that at all. They just want to latch onto your little post about, how inspirational you've been. They want everyone else to think that that they're inspirational too, and they're enlightened, and they want to be part of your 12 followers that will. Anyway, we're going down too far down on a religious route here.
Yeah, but no, there's this idea, and it kind of comes out to marketing as well. As soon as some people, as soon as some people learn something, it's a really great feeling. Like, you get this rush, like, I just learned something that's unlocking my world. So, your natural desire is like, I want to go share that. And that makes a lot of sense in terms of like technical stuff that you're learning in your business, and being like, hey, I learned this little thing. It was kind of neat. The problem is it's now becoming, anyone hears anything new that like makes their brain fire of like, oh, that's exciting. They are then now the expert.
Yes.
They get one piece of positive feedback on something new they came up with. They're now the expert on it. And it's not that you can't share it, because you can, but it's when you're like, I know the secrets. And then that has perpetuated into the way they live their lives, is they'll hear like one good piece of advice that's like, start a gratitude journal. And then all of a sudden they're like, I did it once. It went really well. Everybody should do it. And they're like an evangelist for gratitude journals for like 2 days. And then they've forgotten about it. And it's just like this fleeting people vomiting in each other's mouths, just around and around and around. That's gross.
What a beautiful image that was. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing that. That's brilliant. Do you know what else is really annoying me at the moment on LinkedIn videos? Is people doing it in their cars.
As in their front seat.
Yeah, in the front seat. And I kind of, one day I want someone to do, I might do it myself actually. This is a great idea. I'm going to do the video, a video from my car. I'm going to sort of mount it to my my windscreen, obviously the glass at the front. And I'm going to do it from the back seat. Just maybe to just focus on an empty chair, an empty seat in the front would be amazing. Why are people doing their LinkedIn videos in cars? Because I don't know about everybody else, but when I see that, and I'll be honest, I'm never clicking on your video and listening to it if you are in a car. I'm sorry if you do them, but I don't click on them. But what I will try and do is, without listening to you, I'm going to try and ascertain exactly what car, make, and model you are driving, because that's more interesting to me than the bullshit that you're actually speaking. We
can make bingo boards, cards.
Yes.
Yeah. Like, check. Yeah. No, we could see who gets it first.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Maybe we mock that up, we share it, and then people can go away and just sort of tick off all the cars that they've seen.
With that, even though I guess I like to give people the benefit of doubt until I don't, but with the car thing, okay, to be fair, it did work the first few big videos. And the reason it worked was because people were in a hurry and they had a great idea, and they weren't overthinking it, and they were in their car and they were like, oh, I'll just, record this and send this to my cousin, or I'll put it on Snapchat, or I'll put it on Instagram for my friends. Like, I'm thinking of the lady that did she wore that crazy mask.
The Wookiee. Wookiee thing, yes.
Wookiee thing. That was the perfect example of like, she wasn't overthinking it. She was just doing it, and it was funny, and it blew up. And then a few other people kind of did the same thing. They're like, just went for it. So at the time it made sense because they were in their car. It's where they were relaxed. It's where the inspiration struck. And so now people have gotten it confused, and they think that the car is the reason that it worked. Like, if I go get in a car, then I will now be inspiring and funny. And they've kind of got it twisted around. And now they just look like idiots.
Yes.
Was it you were the one that told me, like, I imagine people just, okay, I'm going to go record a video, and then they go and get in their car.
Yeah, they just go, I've got this really good idea for a video. I'm just going to go outside now. I'm just going to sit in my car just for a bit, just so I can film it. I'm going to turn the lights on. Yeah.
I just imagine people like setting up lights and stuff and like sitting in their car with like a ring light and like a microphone, but they're trying to make it look like they don't have those things. Ugh.
Maybe people buy used cars, like really old used cars, just to create a little mini studio for themselves. But the problem is also, you do these videos on LinkedIn, which is, it's great and fantastic, and obviously, but I don't want, it just makes you look like your office is your car, and obviously you're not sort of going around moving, doing stuff, and you just look like a guy that's sat in a car. I don't know. There's just something fundamentally very, very odd about the whole car thing.
Also, maybe like they're trying to look busy. Like, I am just in such a hurry with so much to do, with all the success I have to do today. I don't have time. I have to do it in the car.
Yeah, but
like,
90% of them aren't moving. They're parked. They can't, otherwise they get pulled over by the cops.
No, I mean, I'm with you. It's so crazy to me, but I really do think part of them are like, if I do it from my car, then people will think I am busy, and busy means important.
I'll be honest with you. If people are doing it from their car, to me, it just looks like this just looks like I am homeless. I don't have an office. I don't have a house to do this in. I just got my car, which is on finance, and is my brilliant Toyota Yaris. That's what it looks like to me.
Yeah, Optima.
Yes.
And then it's perpetuated by the fact that there's some people that have really cool cars. So now you know that the reason they're doing it is to show it off. It's just
is the thing, isn't it? It's this whole my car. If you do have a Bentley or a Rolls Royce or a Ferrari or whatever, it's a show off thing. It's a look at my wealth kind of thing, which is just a pissing contest at the end of the day. Yeah,
it's a really bizarre attempt to show off. It's a vanity thing, but it's bizarre. It's not like, oh, look how nice my office is. It's like, look how normal the inside of my car. It's just strange that it's happened this way. It's kind of funny. I think our kids are going to look back and be like, Mom, why did so many people take videos from inside their car? Like, I know. I mean, the filters thing is going to be part of it. Like, why are so many people wearing dog ears in all of these videos?
Me and my partner had this conversation, actually. This is really weird. So me and Sam, my partner, have been doing our family trees. So each of our indoor family trees and stuff. And we really love it when we see old pictures that have been posted by other people of our family members. It's really, really great. And we were talking about the fact that when it comes to people looking at ourselves 50, 100 years down the line, they're not going to get a really cool black and white picture of us, at a wedding or anything like that. They're going to get a picture of us in our cars looking like a squirrel, or being beautified by some kind of computer app. It's crazy. But there's also going to be hundreds of them. It's not going to be the one. It's going to be hundreds of them.
It used to be like, oh, this was the only picture that exists for my great aunt's wedding. How sweet. It's like, here's an album of 200 photos. A lot of them are the same people in the same position, just slightly different face setups. Like, it's just the sheer, because I actually don't take a lot of pictures, I have a lot of Snapchats of my dog. But other than that, I don't take a lot of pictures, but I have all these friends who just have a bajillion photos. Yeah. There's they need a highlights reel to hand off to their kids one day.
This is the only picture of your great Aunt Bessie that we have that doesn't have a Snapchat filter on it.
I mean, really, I try to go back and find pictures of my husband and I, and I'm like, oh shit, we're all stupid.
No, it's very, very true. Anyway, people. Oh, do you know what the other thing is? Is it not James Corden and carpool karaoke and stuff? Yeah. I think that's a big instigator as well. In fact, I've actually seen someone now doing interviews. They call it carpool interview or something, whatever it is. So now they're doing interviews in the car together while they're driving along, which again is just sort of, it's not Paul McCartney that you got in the car next to it. There's a reason that kind of format works.
Yeah, Jerry Seinfeld does Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee. Have you seen it?
Yes, I have. Yes.
Yeah, that's it, but it works because the car is always really cool.
Yes.
And he really likes cars.
Yes.
But it's also just really fabulous alliteration. But he's been doing that a lot longer than most people have been doing it. But yeah, Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee is a great example of the casualness of the car done well.
Mm-hmm.
But you can take that casualness, you can take it anywhere.
Yes. Exactly. Doesn't have to be the car, people. Doesn't have to be the car. Don't start buying car studios. Oh dear, crazy. So what was I going to talk about then? So obviously video marketing, really big, massive thing. If you had to give someone a big tip on starting, if they're not doing video marketing for their business or whatever at the moment, whether it be on LinkedIn or Facebook, what's your big top tip for someone that needs to get it started and to do some kind of video marketing?
If you have something to say that's going to help people and they enjoy watching videos, get over your damn self and your insecurities or your vanities or your fears of being judged and make the damn video. Like, it's truly just very selfish to not create the content your audience wants because you are scared. So get over your damn self, get over the production value, get over the fact that you've got a weird thing on your face, and just make it. Get over the fact that you don't like the way you sound. Nobody likes the way they sound except for me. I love the way I sound. Get over it.
Me too, to be fair.
Get over it and just make the thing. Help the people.
Exactly.
And if you think about it that way, it gets a lot easier.
Absolutely. Just go out and do it. And it's a really punk thing is just to go out and do it. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, try something different and change it. And I do have a plea for everyone out there that's going to go away and do this video marketing sort of stuff. If they are going to go away and do it, just try and make it different. Try and make it fun. Try and make it so it's not been seen a million times before. Because you might think that going out there and Jeff and Bill and Adam are all doing this kind of thing, and you might think, oh, it's just going to work as equally as good for me. You know, things get saturated. Go and do something a little bit different and it'll work better for you. Yes.
And you know what's funny is like being different can be like just not being an idiot, or like being different could be just being fun or not being scripted. Like one of the things that makes mine different is I don't edit out all of my little mistakes. There was one time in one of my videos, I went to say Facebook pixels and I said Facebook pickles. And then I just like kept in my laughter afterwards. People loved it because my husband you said Facebook pickles, and I was like, I know, it was so funny. I thought it was hilarious, and people did too. So sometimes being different just means like, I don't know, just being a human being on the catch that human being. It's just being your damn self without worry of how you look or how you sound, or if you mumble a little bit. It's just being you.
Exactly. What's your biggest bugbear about the sort of digital marketing world at the moment?
My biggest what?
Bugbear. Is this a British term that you'd not heard of? You could ask me to explain it and I'll go, do you know what? I don't even know. But you know, your biggest gripe, your biggest sort of thing that's making you really annoyed.
Yes. So this was my rant last night. I'm wanting to do a webinar. I've actually been avoiding doing them, but I want to run a webinar. I think I could help a lot. I've got a good idea for a webinar, so I finally feel compelled to do it. So I just did a really quick Google that was like how to webinar. Was basically like I had an idea, but I just Googled it. So the top one was actually like a pretty good blog, like summarizing all the ways you can do it. And I was like, dope. So I'm reading it, and as I'm going, so this is a blog post about how to create a webinar. And throughout this blog post, the people that are writing it are using their own examples of the lead forms and the systems they use to run their webinars that are about how to run webinars. So, and then throughout this blog, there are call to actions to sign up for one of their webinars where they will teach me how to do webinars, all in a blog on how to do webinars. And I was just like, this is getting out of hand. It's just people teaching people teaching people. It's that old saying that people who can't do teach. I don't love that, but I feel like there's these whole marketplaces that have been created for people to just continue, like teach people how to teach things, how to teach things, how to teach things. And then but there's no end consumer. I feel like there's got to be a name for that. It's a consumerless B2B marketplace that makes no sense to me.
Have you just made that up then? Is that what you're calling it?
That's what it is. There's no God. It was just bugging me nuts. It was a great blog. I'm being honest, it was a great blog, but it was just so cyclical. It was just so cyclical. I'm like, of course webinars work for you. You're teaching people how to do webinars. Or when it's a lead funnel on lead funnels, of course it works for you because you're teaching people how to do lead funnels. Like it just, there's life coaches teaching life coaches how to be life coaches who then end up doing the exact same thing. And we're not actually, that's it. We're not providing anything new to the planet. Like nothing new is happening. It's almost like, I have this theory that I'm going to offend people. If art history teachers stopped teaching, the degree would completely go away because the only thing an art history major helps you do is become an art history teacher. So all we're doing is just spitting it right back out. And we're not sending people out into the world to solve problems. We're creating a problem, solving it, and then solving it over and over and over and over again with no final. It wasn't a problem that existed anyway. Sorry. Okay, we're done. Sorry.
So I mean, I agree. I completely agree. What's your resolution? Just kill.
If you're going to, first of all, just because you've done it for 5 minutes doesn't mean you're an expert. Doesn't mean you can't help people, but you're not an expert all of a sudden.
Or a guru.
Yeah, you're not a guru. Your business isn't going great. Don't pivot to then teaching other people how to do it because it clearly didn't work for you. That happens a lot with like business coaches.
Yeah.
I find it really strange when people fresh out of college are like, I want to be a business coach. And I'm like, you've never run a business. How on earth? And then they do it. And then people trust them. And it just blows and people blow their money. And it just, so I guess the whole thing is if you're going to solve a problem that exists and solve it well and create something new to add to this world. Even if it's just a twist on it. It doesn't have to be like brand new. It can be a remix of something. But pull from different industries and create a new solution that has an end benefit. So like what I do is essentially, I work with public speakers. But the end beneficiary of all of that is the person in the audience. Right? Yes. There's somebody at the end. Because I mean, I coach or consult with people to help them make their businesses better. But the end result is the consumer. And realistically, with some of these, there should be a consumer, but it's spiraled out of control and there's no longer a consumer. It's just people telling people how to sell to people.
You can basically what you're saying is you can develop a new product, you can develop a new idea, you can even focus in on a niche if you need to do that. But what you can't do is then just go a step behind because you think you're going to get a bigger audience and go, well, I'm going to teach these people to teach these people to teach these people. And you can't just keep taking that step. Do you still have, I'm not sure if it's stopped because the person that used to be, do you still have The Apprentice in the States? Like the TV show?
I don't know. I'm of the, you know how there's like cable cutters, my generation's cable nevers in the US. So I stream, I guess. I don't know. I'm sure maybe it's somewhere, but I have no idea what's on the old telly box anymore.
Well, your current president, used to be on a program called The Apprentice in America, and we have our own version over here, and we have some guy in the House of Lords currently called Alan Sugar, who's the host of ours, and you see that kind of mentality all the time because it's always this cohort of business people that all want to get funding for their own business and stuff, and what they mostly do is just try and do that kind of thing. Is regurgitating what already sort of exists without finding a niche or without finding a new opportunity or without doing that. And it really, really annoys me.
You know who's really guilty of that right now is social media scheduling softwares.
Yes.
It's so saturated. And like, I understand the desire to get in on it, but I'm like, how are people still funding these? Like, we need competition, but they're not even niching anymore. They're just like, we created another one and it does everything. Like, just a little bit different of a layout, and it just boggles my brain that people give them money.
Yeah, if you want to make a lot of money at the moment, like you need to, first of all, you need to develop an app for Android users. I know you're an iPhone person, but you need to develop an app for an Android, which puts subtitles onto videos so you can upload it to LinkedIn and have subtitles. Still doesn't exist, but we have, like you said, we have 30 million social media scheduling software. It's like if you wanted to create or make something in the niche of video marketing, now is the time to do it and to profit from it. And there's not a lot out there.
You know, I actually call it, I once started a business and I had a lot of interest. They were yoga mats that looked like rugs. Okay. So you just didn't have to roll them up. You just leave them out.
Oh, I see. Right. Okay.
Blowing, I know. It came to me and I ran with it and people wanted it. It was bizarre. But I had to stop, and it wasn't because things weren't working. I hit some roadblocks that, I kind of looked at and I was like, I don't want to make more toys for rich white people. I don't. Because you know how many like versions of like innovative water bottles are out there nowadays?
Oh, I know. Yeah.
More and more of this stuff for rich white people that I'm like, I'm not solving a problem. I'm just tacking on a different logo onto the same solution that's been around anyway. That comes down to a personal thing. Like, do you want to make money or do you want to make the world more awesome? A lot of people just want to make more money. Yeah. But they can make a lot more if they focus their efforts on something that didn't solve a problem that's been solved 30 billion times.
Well, this is it. So when I made Digital Marketing Punk and I thought about it, the idea I could just be another digital marketing guy who goes around and tries to go, oh, you can do this and you can do that. And aren't I brilliant? And aren't I fantastic? But I thought I want to actually do something. So that idea was, well, I'm going to just go and get angry at agencies that go and mistreat and missell and missell these services to people, and that makes me have a little warm glow about myself to think that I'm doing something a little bit of wrong. I'm essentially Batman. Let's be honest. I mean, I'm not gonna. Yeah,
you're not the hero we need, but you're the hero we deserve. I think that's how that quote goes, or it's backwards.
I'll take it. It's fine. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't have a bat signal yet, but I'm working on it.
Good.
Yeah. And my Toyota Yaris is my Batmobile.
What color is it? Lime green?
It's yes. And it's also the place I do all of my video shootings to go up on social media.
Interior quite often.
Well, Sarah, thank you so much for being on the show. Do tell everybody where they can sort of find you, where they can find out more about you, find out more about what you do, the work that you do with speakers and everybody else. Please do tell them where you can find you. Yeah.
So first, find me on LinkedIn, Sarah Jo Crawford. That's simple. Next, you can find me on sparkworth.com. So that's spark and then worth as in worth your time. That's where you'll find out my public speaking goodness. I've got some free goodies I've recently put up, all in regards to how to build better websites. And I actually have a whole guide right now on how to write like an asshole so you get over writer's block. It's a good one. And then if you're interested in my speaking stuff, when I talk about video marketing, you can find a lot of that on sarahjocrawford.com. And that's Sarah spelled correctly, so with an H. Sarah J-O, which is the female version of Joe. My mother, to this day, spells it J-O-E on my Christmas presents. That woman named me and she forgets. So
how is that even possible? Also, Sarah without a H and Sarah with a H, they're said differently. Are they not?
Yes. No, they're the same. It's Sarah.
So is it not Sarah and Sarah?
Nope. That makes it even worse. And you know what's funny is Sarah, we're actually very particular about it. Like, we're like, it's Sarah with an H, and it's a big deal. So mine, I always say Sarah spelled correctly, Joe, as in the feminine Joe, which is J-O. So Sarah Jo Crawford, it's me in all my glory, spelled correctly.
Get it right. Get it right, people.
Right. Okay, to be clear, though, technically, Sarah is a name from the Bible, and in the Bible, it was spelled with an H. So if anyone wants to fight me, I'll take them.
That's fair enough. I don't think anyone's going to fight you when...
I think they'd be scared to. They'd be stupid to try.
Exactly. They would be foolish to try.
Bring them down verbally.
Well, Sarah, Joe with an E, thank you so much. Coming onto the show. and basically just going a little bit crazy for about an hour. I really, really appreciate it. It's been absolutely a joy to have you on. I hope to have you on again sometime. That'll be fantastic.
Thanks for having me. This has been a blast.
It's been good fun. Thank you very much, Sarah. Thank you so much to Sarah for joining me on the show this time around. It was a fun chat. Okay, let's be honest. It was a really fun chat, and we pretty much just let the recorder record and got a little bit mad and got a little bit angry about digital marketing, which, you know, I kind of like to do because, let's be honest, this is punk, right? Next episode coming up very, very soon, I hope, because I'm going to be recording it very, very soon. I'm going to be talking everything about Google My Business. I'll explain why, because I feel it's a little bit underrated at the moment. It's gone through a huge transition over the past year to becoming that little poxy tool that everyone must have, to something which is actually going to drive and power some elements of traffic to your website or to your business. So I want to talk about it because I think it's really important. I hope you will join me for that. If you do have any questions, queries, or feedback about the show, I would love to hear from you. So don't forget, you can get in contact with the Punkcast by emailing us at punkcast@digitalmarketingpunk.co.uk. You can also connect with me across all the social medias. Find me on Facebook, facebook.com/digitalmarketingpunk, on Twitter with @punk_digital, and on Instagram as well @digitalmarketingpunk. You can also connect me on LinkedIn. Just search for Digital Marketing Punk and my lovely little face will pop up before your very eyes. It would also be great if you haven't done so already, and I know I ask this every single episode now, but if you haven't done so already, go and subscribe to the Digital Marketing Punkcast. And if you really like the show, and I hope you do, then show your appreciation a little bit by giving us a 5-star review on iTunes or whatever platform you are listening from. Thank you very much if you've done that already, and thank you if you're going to do it right now. Do it now. Okay, I hope you'll join me next time on the next episode of the Digital Marketing Punkcast. Have a wonderful day, everybody, and see you next time.